What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and in today's Minecraft video what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to use the plugin Worldguard and all of the commands. Now, Worldguard is probably one of the most popular plugins. Basically what Worldguard does is it protects all of your server from griefing, and you can kind of modify a lot of different values in the game that you can't without it. So it's a really useful plugin. You can do things like stop mobs from spawning, allow and disable PvP in an area, protect an area from block breaking, a lot of different stuff, and that's why I want to show you all the commands on how to use it, because if you're a server owner, it's almost guaranteed you're going to need to use Worldguard at some point, and this is going to be how to use it. So Worldguard has a lot of different commands. It actually has some utility commands at first, and one of them is /god, and that will enable God mode. When you type it in, it's red, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work, because it does actually work. You can also type in /god again. You can type in /ungod to disable it. There's also /heal, which heals you if you're at low health. Obviously in creative mode it's pretty useless. And then you have locate, and you can type in the name of another player for an example. And if you press space, it actually has loads of different things, so you can type in /locate and it'll give you some suggestions. You can click igloo, end city. Obviously end city is in a completely different dimension, but we could just go and we could just click monument for an example, and it'll actually give us the closest monument with relation to the compass and directions. So that's a really super awesome command. Like I said before, you can also do /locate at space and then the player name. Obviously there's no other players connected to this server, so that doesn't work. You can also do /slay and then do space and just type in a player name, and then those players will be killed. And let's just say that I have lots of the same block. Let's just put lots of these blocks in these stripped spruce logs for an example. Just put lots of them in my inventory. I can type in /stack and it'll automatically stack them into the related item stacks. So that's an easy way to sort your inventory as well. They're kind of ease of use commands. Like I said, those commands are completely unrelated to protecting your spawn and things, but they're just a few little nice utility commands that come in Worldguard. Okay, so let's just spawn a flint and tinder for an example. So we've got a flint and steel here, which is what I meant. So we've got a flint and steel. We'll create a few fires. We don't want it to spread to our house, of course. So what do? What we can do is we can type in /stop fire, and it will say fire spread has been globally disabled for world. So what this will do is it won't necessarily stop the fire, but it'll stop this fire from actually spreading, and then it'll slowly just go out like this. As you can see, after a while some of these fire blocks just disappear, and that's what happens. It stops the spread, so obviously it won't burn down your house or something. Then you can allow the fire by typing just /allow fire. So it's as simple as that to enable and disable it. Then you can also do /stop lag, and this command will permanently erase all animals in all loaded chunks in all loaded worlds. So that's something you've got to worry about when using it, but that's a command that you can use. Now, in the more recent versions of Worldguard, since some of the old updates, they've actually added chest protection in, which I wasn't personally aware of before, and it works in the same as a lot of the other plugins. So if we just right click on the chest and just type in lock on the first line with square brackets and press done, it will actually allow chest protection. Now, to enable this, you do actually need to enable this setting in the config, because by default chest protection is disabled, because a lot of people use things like locket and LWC, but obviously you could type in the lock and then the second line is the player name. I'm pretty sure you can also just type in more player names on the other lines too, but I'm not really 100% sure if it works that way. Okay, so now we're going to actually move on to regions. Regions are the main reason why people actually install Worldguard. This is because you can create a region from a certain amount of blocks in a radius, and then you can add different flags onto the region to kind of manipulate how the game works in that set amount of blocks. We've got a nice little house that we built here. Nice little small house, not really too much in it. What if we want to protect this from griefers? What if we actually want to make the spawn this house? So basically what you want to do is, I'm just going to type in clear and get rid of these items and type in /wand, and this works in the exact same way as world edit does, because we're going to use the world one. So what we want to do is we want to select two different blocks. Now we want to select the lowest block we want to actually protect, so anything on this block or above will be protected. So let's just protect this corner block here. With left click, we're going to select the first position. Then we're going to go to the other side and select this corner block. Now if I select this with right click as my second position, when we protect it, it's only going to protect these blocks in that radius on the floor. We want to actually protect up to the roof and higher. Now how do we do that? We type in /up and then 20. The 20 is how many blocks your player is going to be moved up. And what you want to do is you want to select enough blocks so it's actually above your house. So in that box, it's going to have your house inside it. So hopefully that makes sense. We're going to right click on this glass and then we can just delete it by just punching it. And now we've selected the blocks we need. So now what we do is we type in /region define. What we can also do is /rg define. Works the same way, just a little shortcut. I'm going to do the classic way, region define. What you can do then is type in a name. I'm just going to click spawn, and as you can see, I've already made a spawn region, so I'm going to do region redefine, which kind of replaces your old region or deletes it with your new one. I'm going to do region redefine spawn. So spawn now has a new area. If you didn't have one called spawn, you just do region define spawn. So now I have a region that we can play around with. Now what do we do next? What we can do is we can type in /region add member and then type in the Blue Crusader for an example. And then what you do is you type in a few different things. Then we do world, then we type in spawn and then the Blue Crusader. That will actually add us as a member to the spawn, region spawn updated with new members. So you can also do the same. Instead of add member, we can do add owner, and that'll update it as well with new owners. So that's how to add members. You can also add groups to build in as well. That's just to add permissions for builders to actually edit your world, because when you protect it, most of the time players won't be able to break blocks in a protected region by default unless you change it. You can also do /region remove member, which is the same. If you do /rg info or /region info, it will show you some things about the region. Now it says personally here that there's no members or owners. You want to type in /region info and then the actual region itself. So now we can see spawn has me as an owner and it has me as a member. So we can click add here and then it automatically fills in the command for you, and then you can type in new players to add as an owner or member. So that's a quicker way of actually getting the command in the right format. Okay, so what if you want a message to be displayed when you walk in the region? So for an example, if we walk into a spawn area, we want a message to be played to our players that we've entered the spawn area. So it's pretty easy. What you do is you type in /region and then flag, and then you type in the name of the region as is spawn, and you type in greeting, and then we'll just type in hi for an example. So now it says hi. So now if we fly into the region, it automatically says hi. So we'll just replace that with a better message. We'll just put you are now entering the spawn for an example. And once we do that, now it will say it's updated. If we walk right away and we leave the region, when we walk back in, it'll say you are now entering the spawn. Now we can do this as well. We can type in you are now leaving the spawn, and we'll change greeting to farewell, and that's a farewell message when you're leaving. And now we'll walk in and it'll say you're now entering the spawn, and when we walk out it'll say you're now leaving the spawn. So as you can see, it's as simple as that. So that's what you can do for a really large area if you're making a spawn, or if you want to make a region where you want to send the player messages when they walk in and out of it. You can also type in /region teleport and then spawn if you have a teleport point set. So there's actually a lot of flags which we can have. Region flags affect how the region actually performs. So we can type in /rg flag spawn, and then now we can actually edit the flags of the spawn. So for example, I've just got a list over here on my other screen of what some of the flags are, just to kind of show you. So we've got a flag which is use, and we can put deny, or we can do allow. And basically what the use flag does is it actually allows people to use doors, levers, and interactive items. So if I type in deny, then only I can open up the doors because I'm an owner on the region, but people who aren't actually members or owners of the region won't be able to open the doors. So if you're making something like a jail and you don't use iron doors and you haven't got any buttons, if you're using wooden doors in a jail for an example, then people won't be able to open them to leave the jail once you put them in the jail. Just useful for controlling little things like that, and also disabling the use of sticky pistons and a lot of different objects which might actually cause problems with redstone and things like that. So that's a good way to actually protect a lot of stuff. Another one is actually block place. So we type in block-place, And if we deny that, I mean, that's kind of obvious. It just means that whether people can actually place blocks in the region. In the spawn, we don't want people to build, so this is a necessary thing to disable. All the same, block break should be on deny as well, because we don't want people to break this wood, because then they're destroying the spawn. Now, one thing is actually interact. Now, this is a little bit tricky, because if you disable interact, basically what this does is it means that people can't use all of the standard stuff with the use flag, like the doors and levers like before on the other command, but they also can't access the inventory or do a lot of other stuff in the region. Interact affects the doors, levers, interactables, inventories, vehicles like animals being able to be mounted, etc. Another one is chest access. Now, if we enable that, people will be allowed to open our chests. If we don't, people won't be allowed to open our chests. So that's a way to actually block people from stealing stuff in a certain region as well. One really good one is PvP. If we type in PvP allow, basically what this will do is it will mean that anyone who enters this house can actually do PvP. So if we wanted to make a PvP arena and this house was a PvP arena, if we enable the PvP flag in the arena but disable the flag in the spawn, when people leave the spawn and go into the arena, they'll be allowed to actually fight people, so we can create a mini game out of that. So that's how this flag can be used and applied to an area on a server. There's also another one which is TNT. So that obviously wants to be disabled because it allows people to actually damage or detonate TNT, which is definitely a must to disable in the spawn because we don't want people to grief. And another one you want to disable in the spawn is lighter, which disables flint and steel. Now there's actually a lot of different flags. For an example, there's one more I have to show you which is really useful, and that's mob spawning, just like that. If we disable mob spawning, really obvious stuff guys, but you want to do this in the spawn. You want to select the whole spawn and disable mob spawning, and this means that all of these mobs outside there won't be able to spawn inside the house or whatever region your region is, like the spawn or an arena. And the way it does this is it just disables all of the flags in that region and it turns it basically to peaceful mode. So basically, even if I don't have torches in here, or even if this place was in a really dark cave, it'd stop mobs from still spawning in there like monsters at night time. So those are most of the primary and useful Worldguard commands. So they're the primary commands that you'll need when you actually make a server. Now if this video was useful and it was helpful, please smash the like button and make sure to subscribe guys. These are all the commands you're going to need if you make a Worldguard server. You probably won't need many other commands, but if there's any commands that I forgot to cover, or if there's anything that you need to know guys, I will leave the links in the description below. In the links in the description, I'll include a list of all the region flags which you can set on the region, because obviously I didn't cover them all. There's a huge massive list, so it's really hard to cover in one video, but I'll have a list of all the flags which you can allow or disable in each region, and I'll also include all the links to the other commands as well, just so you guys have that as a reference. So thanks for watching. Make sure to smash the like button if this was useful, and subscribe with notifications on for awesome daily Minecraft videos and tutorials. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.